Imagine waking up in a locked room. A stranger hands you a glass of water, assuring you everything is fine. Minutes later, your memory blurs and reality slips away. These events were orchestrated by the Central Intelligence Agency under a program called Project MKUltra. For 20 years, the details of this operation were buried behind classified files and official denials. In 1973, as investigations into intelligence agencies began to widen, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered the complete destruction of every MKUltra file. 2 decades of raw data, internal memos, and research reports were fed into shredders and incinerators. The agency systematically removed the evidence to prevent the public from ever seeing the full scope of the experiments. The history of the program survived only because of a clerical error. A small batch of financial records had been stored in a separate government archive, escaping the 1973 purge. Looking closely at the dense text on these surviving receipts allows us to reconstruct the massive covert program the CIA tried to erase from the records. While the experiments themselves are disturbing, the discovery of the program reveals the ease with which a government can selectively remove its own history. In 1953, the Cold War was defined by a silent race for information and technology. Every day, the United States and the Soviet Union feared the other had discovered a weapon that could change the balance of power overnight. This fear peaked during the Korean War. Returning American prisoners confessed to crimes they insisted they never committed, leading intelligence officials to believe they had been broken through psychological manipulation. Washington officials became convinced that foreign enemies had mastered brainwashing. They feared that if another country controlled human behavior, the strategic position of the United States would be compromised. Behind locked doors, CIA intelligence officers and scientists held secret meetings. They decided they needed to develop their own mind control capabilities to counter the perceived Soviet threat. In April of 1953, the CIA officially authorized Project MKUltra. The program operated behind layers of secrecy, so thick that even many people working within the U.S. government had never heard its name. The CIA's objective was to control the human mind, a goal that provided the internal justification to ignore standard ethical boundaries in the name of national security. MKUltra grew into a network of over 100 covert projects. These experiments were conducted in plain sight, hidden within universities, hospitals, and research institutions across the country. Researchers focused on the effects of LSD, believing the drug could be weaponized to confuse, manipulate, or temporarily disable an enemy during an interrogation. The protocols involved extreme psychological stress. Subjects were monitored for their response to memory manipulation, suggestion under hypnosis, and prolonged periods of sleep deprivation. Government records later proved that many subjects were unconsenting American citizens. They believed they were participating in standard medical studies, unaware they had become part of an intelligence program. To maintain the cover-up, the CIA funneled money through front organizations. As funds reached hospitals and universities, researchers remained blind to their true source. Because files were shredded in 1973, the specific human toll is lost. We will never know the identities of everyone affected. In its pursuit of biological weapons of the mind, the CIA turned the American public into unwitting test subjects, removing the protections of medical consent. By the 1970s, public trust in government secrecy began to dissolve. New investigations into the activities of intelligence agencies forced the CIA to answer for its past. Formal inquiries, specifically the Church Committee and the Rockefeller Commission, brought Project MKUltra into the light. For the first time, investigators had the evidence to demand public accountability. Former CIA officials were questioned in front of the American people. Under oath, they confirmed that the agency had indeed conducted mind control experiments on human subjects. The public fallout was immediate. Newspapers reported that the government had unknowingly exposed its own citizens to dangerous drugs and psychological trauma for over 2 decades. These revelations changed the public's relationship with the government. The proof of MKUltra confirmed that suspicions of intelligence agency overreach were based in documented fact. Decades after the hearings, the central mystery of the program remains tied to the incinerators and shredders of 1973. The most haunting reality of MKUltra is that we will never know the full scale of the program. Despite the surviving clues, the original records containing names, dates, and results are gone forever. However, the exposure of these abuses forced the creation of modern research ethics. Today's strict laws regarding informed consent and intelligence oversight exist because of the failures of Project MKUltra. The program remains a case study in the consequences of national security initiatives that operate without public scrutiny or ethical boundaries. The lesson of MKUltra is not just what was found in the surviving files, but the reality of what the government successfully erased from the historical record. Do you believe some secrets are necessary for a nation's security, or should every secret eventually be revealed? Let me know in the comments. If you found this case study valuable, leave a like and subscribe for more. Until next time, keep questioning the stories history leaves behind.